Hi guys, my name is Jen. I usually teach the Tuesday Rise and Shine yoga, but Jessica and I switched today, so she taught this morning and I'm going to teach now. So if you haven't met before, my name is Jen. I'm the Senior Health Fitness Program Manager for the Bedford facility for MITRE. And all we need today is a strap and your mat. So we're going to start in about a minute. And if you don't have a strap, something like a dog leash or a belt or a pair of leggings, anything like that that you can just extend the reach of your hands with. If you're flexible and you can reach your toes and you can grab on 100% completely, you may not need a strap, but I am not that type of person, as in my hamstrings are horribly inflexible, which is why yoga is a great thing for me. So that's why I'm going to use the strap. Okay, so it's 12:15. We are going to start seated in a cross-legged position. I like to take about 2 minutes at the beginning of class and about 2 minutes at the end of my classes just for a nice little bookend of quiet time. Usually people will kind of go through a gratitude list maybe. Maybe they'll do a body scan. Maybe they'll say what body parts are just raring to go today. Maybe which ones aren't so much. And set an intention for class, or if you're not into any of those things, which is totally fine, you're just gonna breathe. All I ask is that you sit up nice and tall, your shoulders are back and down, and your hands can be wherever they feel comfortable being. I am freezing my little tail off down here right now. It will warm up, or I will warm up, it won't warm up. Make sure you're not slouching. If you were, adjust. Sitting up nice and tall, and then take those hands and walk them down your mat, keeping your hips on the ground, keeping your back straight and your shoulders down and back. You may not be able to reach very far, that's okay. Let's come a little bit to one side of the mat. And then the other side of the mat. Come back to the middle, roll it up. Switch those legs so the other leg is on top. And walk it down again. You should feel a difference in side A versus side B. Walk those hands one way. Walk those hands the other way. Come back to the center, roll it on up. Bring both those legs out in front of you and put those toes way up towards the ceiling. Really point them and flex them. Point and flex. And then point those toes up to the ceiling, sitting up nice and tall, walking those hands down. You probably can go deeper than me. And then come on back. Reach towards one side, keeping those hips on the ground. And come back, other side. And come back. Beautiful. Take those legs, swing them around to the side so they're tucked under. I'm going to take my legs, I'm going to tuck them under to the right side. I'm going to take my left hand and put it on the ground, and I'm going to lift on up and big side stretch here. And come on down. Take that top leg. I'm just going to slide a little bit over here to the side. Take that top leg, and so we're on the inside of that foot, on that nice edge on the inside. And we're going to come up, and we're going to stretch. And we're going to come down. All right, let's switch it around. Bring those legs to the left. Right hand is on the ground. Let's come on up and stretch. Try to make sure that those shoulders are on top of each other as much as possible. And come down and take that top leg out, going on the inside of that foot, and let's lift on up. And come on down. Just bring your feet in front. Take your arms, bring them behind. Grab your right wrist and pull it on over behind you. So we're going for this motion, just behind. And let's switch it out. These stretches are great if you've been sitting at your desk or on the couch or anything like that for the last couple hours, or maybe you've been outside getting stuff done outdoors. And release, shake it out. Now we're going to go for reaching towards the opposite shoulder, or shoulder blade in this case. Because unless your arms are super long or flexible, more than likely they're not going to come over the top. Okay, let's switch up, other side. Okay, release. Take your strap. We're going to do a couple of hamstring stretches. We're going to bring it on the underside of one leg. We're going to tuck that other leg into the body. And we're just going to reach on down. Now, if you can already touch your feet, maybe you don't need the band, but I'm going with the default that everybody is like me and needs the band. All right, come on up. Keep that band where it is. Rotate towards this knee that's bent. Keep your hips on the ground, and like I did before, reach forward as far as you can. Release, come back to that straight leg and see if we can go down a little bit farther with our stretch. I know I can. Can you? Okay, release. Let's set up on the other side. So other leg in, other leg out. Pop that band, strap, legging, leash, whatever you got, and let's roll it down. Come on up, pivot towards that bent knee. Come on down. And come back towards that straight leg. Can we reach farther down? Okay, release. Pop that band over to the side for a second. So we're going to do a reclined or half reclined figure four. So you're going to just lean back slightly. You're going to take your right leg, cross it over your left. And so I think I'll just turn this way so you can see. And so my toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. And I'm just going to lean on in or bring this lower leg in until I feel a really good stretch right here. I'm going to try to bring my shoulders down as far down as I can. And if I need to come farther down here, that's fine. I'm going to adjust to where I feel that the stretch feels good. It's not painful. I feel like it's doing what it needs to do. Okay, I'm going to switch it out and do the same thing on the other leg. Now, note that, number one, your toes are pointed up still, but two, your distance may change depending on what side you're on. So don't just assume that they're equal. that and swing yourself around so you're in a tabletop. So we're gonna go through some bird dogs and some fire hydrants here. And a fire hydrant is probably exactly what you think it is. Lifting a leg out to the side. So first we're gonna start out with bird dogs. So take your right foot back, lift it up, bring that left hand up like you're gonna shake someone's hand and hold it up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Other leg, lift it up, other hand, get it situated, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Come back to that first side, and we're gonna bring that knee in to touch the elbow. So let's come in and tap out for 1. We're going for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it up there and bounce for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Beautiful. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So left leg up, right arm up, come in into tap 10 times. Let's go for 1, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. You can come off your wrists for a second if you want. Roll them around. And then we're going to do our hydrants. So we're going to do 2 sets of hydrants. The first one is just going to lift up to the side. And the second one we're going to lift up to the side, kick out, kick in, and down. So I'll show you this way. So we're either going out to the side, or we're going out to the side, kick out, kick in, and down. So we're going to go 10, 10, regular, 10 with a kick out, 10 with a kick out. Right, straight through. Need to break, you break. I'm going to turn this way just so I don't hit anything that potentially is in my way. All right, so start with side A. It doesn't matter what side A is. And let's lift up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side, go 1, 2, 3. Try to keep those hips as stable as possible. You're going to turn around and move around a little bit, but try not to really hike that hip up. We got 3, we got 2, we got 1. Other side, come up, kick out, and in and down. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is burning. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side right away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. You know, you may notice that that gave you a little bit more burning in the hips than maybe you thought it was going to. And that's okay. All right, we're gonna lay down on our back and we're gonna take our bands with us. I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off just because my hood is gonna get in the way. Not really ready for it to take it off though, but we're gonna take it off anyway. All right, so first we're gonna, if I have an actual yoga strap, I'm gonna make a little hole for the foot. If you don't, you can just wrap it around like we did. When we were sitting up, I'm gonna wrap that strap around the bottom of my foot. I'm gonna lay on my back and I'm just going to bring that leg straight up in the air. And then I'm going to bring that leg out to the side. We're going to hang out here a little bit longer because we haven't stretched out in this direction really yet. And then cross it over the top. Try to keep as much of this hip on the ground as you can. It will pop up a little bit. And come on up, bend that knee, and then bring that knee into the armpit chest. So we're pulling a little bit of a diagonal. You can use a strap, or you can use just grabbing onto your leg, whatever works best for you. And release, we're gonna switch out, do the same thing on the other leg. All right, so laying down on our back, leg up in the air. This one's the shortest hold because we've already done hamstring stretches today. And come on out to the side. I'm going to go over the top. And then come back in, bend that knee, and then bring it diagonally into your armpit chest area. And then release that strap. Okay, while we're down here, we're gonna do some abs because we can. All right, so bring those knees into the chest. And we're going to straighten one leg out. We're gonna keep the other one tucked in. And I'm gonna lift my head and neck a little bit. Turn this way. And I'm just gonna switch here. Switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and drop. Now, if that felt okay, maybe can you come up a little higher and do more of a V-sit variation? So I'm here and I'm kicking out. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. I added a couple more, you could tell. 50% more, 50% more abs for you. Okay, and then the last one we're gonna do is leg straight. And if you don't wanna do leg straight, you can have the knees bent, totally fine. So we're just gonna be kicking here instead of here. Okay, so ready? So one leg out, one leg in, And you can go down here, totally fine. I think that's where I feel like I'm gonna be today for these ones, that if you could go in a V-sit and do it in control and have a nice flat back, sure, go for it. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Come on to all fours. Pigeon. So we're going to start on all fours. We're going to take that right leg, we're going to kick it back. And let's just do some little circles from the hip. And switch direction. And then bring that knee into the chest. Pop your body around, adjust, so your knee is shooting towards 3 o'clock and your foot is shooting towards 9 o'clock. I say shooting because I know for a fact that mine aren't there. I do the best I can, and I know that you're doing that with me, best you can. So we're up nice and tall. And if you want to stay here, that's totally fine. Or you can join us when coming down to the forearms or putting the head on the mat. And we're going to stay here for the count of 20. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up, back to where we were. And now all we're going to do is we're going to rotate. So one hand is on the inside of the knee and one hand is on the outside of the knee. And we're just kind of looking and hanging out and staring longingly out into the distance, towards the wall, towards the window, towards the outside, whatever you got. And then we're going to rotate towards the other way. And come back to the center, tuck the back toes under, and come back to a tabletop. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Bring that left leg up and back behind you, and let's rotate the hip. And switch direction. Bring that knee into the chest. And now we're going to flip it so your foot is towards 3 and your knee is towards 9. We're going to be up here and we're going to get ourselves situated. We're going to feel good about it. And if we don't feel good about it, we're going to adjust it so we do feel good about it. And if we want to come down to our forearms or head to the mat, that's great. And we're going to stay here for a count of 20. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to come on up. And we're going to pivot towards that knee. One hand on each side of the knee. And just have our head nice and neutral, looking into the distance. And then we're going to turn and go the other way. back to the center. Tuck the toes under. This time come to a complete plank and let's go into downward dog. So our first downward dog of the day. Class is more than half over, but you know what? I'd much rather warm up into our downward dog and have a great downward dog, especially on a nice cold day like today, where I am. Your knees can be bent as generously as they need to be, and you can pedal those feet out. Then we're going to walk our feet to meet our hands and bend your knees generously and let the body hang. Nice and slow. Come on up one vertebrae at a time and pull those shoulders back and down. Open up that chest. And release those hands. Okay, so we're going to do some nice little chairs. So your arms are going to be out and in front of you, and you're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. And if you physically need to sit in a chair in order to make this work, sometimes people come sit in the chair and then they rise up just a little bit just to get exactly where they want to be. Totally fine. Make those changes as need be. My feet are a tiny bit apart. My arms are in front, and I'm going to sit back and down. I can lift my toes off the ground if I want to because my weight is in my heels. And I'm going to come on up. I'm going to go down again, and I'm going to twist to one side. The first side you go to is the side of your choice. Okay, so let's come on down. Let's bring those hands in, and let's twist. Come back to the center, roll it on up. Again, other side. Let's sit back. Bring those hands in and twist. Drop those hands, roll it on up. Roll those shoulders back. All right, we're going to do our pigeon figure 4 standing up. So if you need to hold on for balance, you got it, you do it. All right, I'm going to take a foot, cross it over. It can be crossed over here. It can be crossed over higher. Your choice. We're going to sit back. Your hands are going to be where they need to be for balance. Mine feel good right here in prayer. And we're going to hold. And I'm going to drop those arms and drop my body forward and just hold here. And then I'm going to roll it on up and drop that leg. Awesome work. Same thing, other side. If you picked a low variation for your foot on side A, make sure you're picking that low variation for side B as well. Crossing that foot over, sitting back, finding your balance with your hands, and hold. And then drop your body forward. And roll it on up. Awesome. Okay, we're going to turn sideways. One foot's going to be facing towards the front. The other foot's going to be facing towards the wall, just like we would do like a warrior 2. We're going to do a high lunge with a side stretch. Okay, so we're going to bend this front knee and we're going to hang out here. We're going to have our hips are tucked under. I'm going to take this arm, I'm going to put it on top of this thigh. I'm going to take my other arm and come up and over the top, and it's going to be a really beautiful, nice side stretch like we did at the start of class. I can look up. My arm can be up, my arm can be in front. I can be looking up, I can be looking down, I can have my eyes closed, I can have my eyes open. And I'm gonna come back up. And I'm gonna twist my feet. So I'm gonna do the same thing, staying in the same position, but I'm going the other direction. So this back leg is gonna bend. I'm gonna make sure that my hips are tucked under. I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna put it on top of that thigh, and I bring that arm up and over. Remember, my hand can be up, my hand can be over, and my head can be whatever position it needs to be. So I'm challenging myself, but keeping my balance. And then come on up. We're gonna do that one more time. So maybe you challenge your balance a little bit more. Maybe you look up. Maybe you close your eyes. You don't have to. You definitely don't have to. And if you want to do a variation, instead of your hand being up here, it can be reached around in a bind. Totally your call. Home practice. You make the rules. Okay, so let's do side A. Arm is bent on the thigh. My arm comes up, and I want to reach it far forward in front of me. I want to look up towards the ceiling. That's what I want to do. What do you want to do? And come on up. And let's go towards the back wall. One more time. Lean on in. Tuck those hips under. Arm on top of the thigh. And pick your position. And come on up. Okay, so we are going to do 5 squats, super low, super controlled, and you decide the depth. I am going to go all the way to a toe stand each time. If that's like, no, Jen, not happening, then you go down to the depth that you want. We're going to do 5, and then we're going to sit down, okay? So my feet are going to be slightly farther apart, and I'm going to go down on my toes and come back up. So let's go. I'm going all the way down to the toe stand. That's me. What are you doing? I have 2 more left. And on this 5th one, I'm going to stay down. And I'm going to sit on the ground. I'll give you a second to catch up. At your own pace, always. And we're on the ground. We're going to finish off with some bridges, single leg, unless you're like, nope, I'm doing double leg. Then you know what? You do double leg. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see. But we're going to lay on the ground. If I'm doing double leg, both feet are on the ground, and I'm going to lift those hips up, hold it for the count of 2, and then come on down. If my doing single leg, I can decide, is that leg up towards the ceiling, or is it crossed over into this figure 4? Either one is fine. It's a little easier to stabilize with the figure 4. Leg up in the air, 10 repetitions, hold it for a count of 2 at the top. All right, now let's go. 1, 2, your arms are wherever they need to be for balance. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come on down, other side, and let's go. If you're doing double leg, then you're just doing 20 repetitions. 2. Making sure you're holding for the 3 seconds at top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come on down. Drop those knees to one side and look over the opposite shoulder. Awesome work today. Take some nice deep breaths. And switch over to the other side. Come back to the center and set yourself up for Shavasana. We're going to spend 2 minutes here, and if that means putting on socks or a blanket or anything like that to make your Shavasana more comfortable, please do so. We're laying on our back with our shoulder blades tucked under, palms open towards the sky to receive whatever you imagine yourself receiving. And even if that just means literally just air, that's totally cool. And your feet are kind of flopped out to the side. Relaxing your hips, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your jaw. One way to relax your jaw is to put your tongue up the roof of your mouth. Or you can make a really crazy face and then release it. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and roll onto your less dominant side and curl into a ball. Use your upper arm to push yourself up to seated. And I feel like just holding myself into a little ball, but if you feel like sitting in a different position, totally cool. You're just gonna drop your head, stretch out the back of the neck. Lift your head up, turn to the right. Come back to the center, turn to the left. Come back to the center, and now point your chin up diagonal so you're really stretching out the front of the neck. and release one more time through. Drop that head down. And come up, turn to the right. Back to center. To the left. Back to center, and then point that chin up and away. And release. We are done. Thank you for allowing me to walk you through mind body connection for this Tuesday. And if you're interested in the Rise and Shine classes, they are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 7:45. If that floats your boat. Otherwise, Jessica will be back as normal. We'll be back on our regular schedule starting tomorrow. But thanks for coming. See you later.